Hi, I'm Dream, and you're watching the Dream Static Music Channel. Today we're going to be doing the Akai Force Reassembly after 7 months. 7 god. Alright, so this is going to be odd because I'm basically just playing the video in reverse, and this is me talking to myself, or you, depending on how you look at it. Really nobody, because I ended up taking the audio out, but you get the idea. So yeah, you got to put the screws back in the rock chip guy that you put back in there. I was just showing the heatsink stuff. What do you call it? Thermal paste that was already on it. You don't actually have to add any. So yeah, you put the screws into the heatsink. I'm not going to be super descriptive here because honestly, if you know what these things are called and you know how to do it, then great. And if you don't, knowing the names of them isn't going to do jack shit for you. So obviously, the screwdriver there, I was just trying to pop it out. So you don't need to do anything like that. You can just basically press it back in. I'm assuming, because I haven't actually put my screen back in, and that's assuming you want to put your screen back in after taking it apart. Let's say you're taking it apart for some other reason other than taking your screen and making it nice and tilty and flashy and happy. So, more screws. And really the hardest part of this, and this is why it's a shame that I don't have the patience, time, or ability to take mine apart again and do a proper reassembly video. Getting the screws right is probably going to be a bit of a pain in the ass. Your best bet with that, if you haven't already taken your Force apart and you go to do this, or any other device for that matter, if you ever take a device apart, is to record yourself like I did, and then you can play it back and look. You might want to record, or you might also, on top of that, want to actually write down what each screws are and keep them separate. I know some people use those little pill jobbies with like your days of the week and whatnot, and then you can just mark each one with like a little label or something, like a sticker label or something. This part's for the main board. These screws are for the whatever jobby. These screws are for the whatever it's called, the DJ slider guy thing. So yeah, more boards, yay raw. Basically, I'm just talking over this just to make it less boring, which I'm probably failing at and annoying the shit out of all of you, but so it goes. So the ribbon cables, you want to be careful when you put them back in. That thing, the pads, those are kind of a pain in the ass. You got to press in between each, where the like corner is between each four of the pads. You got to kind of press and get it to pop in there. There's like a little plastic piece that presses back into place. And it looks super easy here when I put the screens back in, but those things are a bitch because you got to take and put each one of those tiny little ribbon cables in there such that when you set it in there, they're all sticking out and you don't have any like flattened down in there, and it's tedious as fuck. All right, so ribbon cables again, that's for the screen, and that's one of the ones that makes it possible for you to tilt it if you. And by the way, if you have no fucking clue what I'm talking about as far as my disassembly video, I'll link to it in the description, and probably somewhere around here if you look, there might be a little link there if I remember to put it there. And if not, well, I'm sorry. There's still the description, and I forget things often, so sorry about that in advance if that's what happens. But yeah, a lot of these things, just you look at them, you see where they go. You can use this video for reference. You might want to pause it often. I tried to go with a time frame as far as the speed of playback that would be easy for you to kind of keep along, and you could pause without it being like a ridiculously long video. So if you want to just kind of see an overview real quick, which I guess isn't super helpful, but that's what the pause feature is for. And I believe you can change the speed of the playback in YouTube, at least on the browser, I'm pretty sure. So definitely take the time and do that. And I'll try and point out any particular things I can think of now, but it's been fucking 6 months or more since I did this. Oh, it's been more than that. It's been 10 months, I think, since I did this. So 11 maybe. Yeah, because it's November now. Shit. Time flies. So yeah, anyway, just like I said, my best advice is to just keep track of what screws go where. I kind of did that here. If you look over to the left, they're somewhat organized. They're not perfect. And I'll be honest, there's a lot of screws in these devices. And if you end up, and I know some people are going to freak out for me saying this, but I've been a technician for decades. If you end up with a handful of extra screws, chances are it ain't going to fucking matter. It ain't going to make a difference. Um, I don't know how many laptops I've had over the years where I've worked on them, and I end up with a pile of screws or like a little cup of screws or whatever from all the different things I've worked on. And yeah, that may not be the most encouraging thing, but hey, yeah, I'm not working on your shit, am I? Unless you're sending it to me, in which case I will take the utmost. No, actually, I don't plan on working on anybody's shit unless they're gonna help me do some kind of video thing. Which, as you'll see in a later video, I'm probably not gonna be doing as many Akai Force and videos in the future. I have a pretty big video coming up where I discuss my love-hate relationship with Akai and music. More on that when I guess it comes out or whatever. Anyway, in the meantime, cables, screws, motherboards, daughter boards. I wonder why they're called daughter boards. It's like the anti-sexist thing. They're not called sunboards. I guess sunboards doesn't have quite the same ring. Basically, I'm just gonna ramble through this entire video. 10 minutes of me rambling while you watch. If thankfully there's a mute button. You can just mute this shit, and you don't have to listen to my ass. But anyway, you might want to listen through at least long enough or one time to get the basic idea. And I can tell by now, as many times as I've stuttered and kind of talked over myself in a sense, or rambled and whatnot, that this is going to be just pure joy to watch. You're welcome. Don't mind me. I'm just being a smartass. I don't ever do that. So yeah, screws and more screws. Lots of screws. Putting in the screws. Screwing the force like it screws me so often. Well, not exactly the same, but you know what I mean. So yeah, while we're sitting here, and since someone commented last time that my last video, my last major force video, I guess, the disassembly one, had my life story. Well, how about some more of it? Because I like to make the people unhappy. No, haven't put any videos out for a while. I moved to California, as I mentioned in the disassembly video. We've been in our house since June. Things have been complicated. I don't have a good space for recording right now because we're still haven't unpacked all our shit. I mean, I've got most of it done, but there's stuff in the way. We got a washer and dryer that we brought from Tennessee that I don't know what the fuck to do with, because the house, apparently in California, when you rent houses, they provide the washer and dryer, which is totally not what I'm used to. We lived in Indiana and Tennessee before this, and nobody gives you no fucking washer and dryer for a house rental or apartment rental. I mean, apartment rentals, yes, but not house rentals. You usually have to bring your own shit for that, and a lot of apartments are that way too. And if I'm boring the shit out of you, you know what? Cool. I'm sorry, but, you can watch the video and turn it on mute. There's only about a minute left anyway. So, yeah, I'm working on it, though. So I have a lot of videos in the works, and I'll be putting those out soon. I do have some remaining videos to do on the Force. More having to do with things you can do with it without modding, and some with I'm still investigating a lot of the other hardware mods that I mentioned. Battery is the most likely. RAM one, unless I get a hold of another Force, if somebody wants to donate one to me or something, I'm not going to try it on my Force. Even though I have a love-hate relationship with it, I do plan on keeping it, if nothing else, for auto sampling and key groups. And I really love the sequence feature or whatever with the buttons. Okay, bye.